In this series of interviews, Ian Brener, opera singer, movement director and Feldenkrais practitioner, speaks to fellow Feldenkrais practitioners who also have backgrounds in music and the arts.
Marilla, where are you?
I am currently in Tamworth in New South Wales in Australia, in the middle of the Tamworth Country Music Festival, where I am performing mostly with the Andrew Clermont International Supper Club every night before I then leave early to drive 13 hours down to Victoria to go to another festival this weekend, and have also done some Hank Williams shows and other things. So yeah.
So you're really on tour.
I am on tour at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, because I'm in the UK and you're normally based in Sheffield, is it?
Yes. I'm from Melbourne in
Yeah.
Australia, but I live in Sheffield.
And how long do you continue on touring for?
This 2 weeks is the really intense bit, so I've got 17, possibly more gigs in 12 days, plus lots of driving. So there's one 13-hour drive I've got to do, and then be functional for the next festival. And then I'm in Australia until mid-March, and then so there are various concerts and things around Victoria and New South Wales booked in, and I'll probably get some more that I haven't quite organised yet, but it's also time to catch up with family.
Do you come from a musical family at all?
Not professionally musical, no. My mum was in amateur theatre, amateur dramatics and stuff when I was a small child, and she still plays the piano for church, but no, not otherwise. So I have always sung, but the genres have shifted a lot.
And I believe that Feldenkrais was a big part of that for you.
It was. I was introduced to Feldenkrais by my singing teacher at university. It was there where I was studying with Anna Connolly, and she insisted first that I started to go and get, remedial massage, and then all sorts of body work. Like I'd been in some car accidents, so go and see a chiropractor and this, that, and the other. And now go and try this weird sounding thing called Feldenkrais. It will help you sing better, it'll help you move better, you will learn faster, and I will be able to teach you faster. I'm like, okay. And my remedial massage therapist said, you would make a great therapist, or you would make a great Feldenkrais practitioner. And so there was the first training in Australia since the 1980s happened as Melbourne 3. And so I did that with my singing teacher. So we were in that first cohort of the new wave, I think, of Feldenkrais practitioners.
How amazing to go on that journey with your actual singing teacher at the time. When you're in Australia, I guess you haven't got any time to teach Feldenkrais when you're on tour. You're teaching Feldenkrais as well?
Yeah, I travel with my table in the car. In this instance, actually, I've only brought the massage table because Feldenkrais is so adaptable. I can either do it on the massage table or the floor or a chair, or last night in standing, whereas massage is slightly less adaptable than Feldenkrais. So I have the table with me, and I do see clients both on the road and in Melbourne, and I'll be doing some workshops in Melbourne, actually, some singers workshops. And you can apply it to how you prepare for a gig, or how you learn, or how you deal with performance anxiety. So
I was going to ask you whether that was a question for you. Do you get performance anxiety? You seem like someone that's just like really present and grounded in terms of what you do, and is confident about meeting the questions that performances can be.
And I can be very confident, and part of that is part of the performance. And definitely getting that groundedness is very helpful for dealing with the anxiety, but absolutely I get performance anxiety. Less so these days, but Anxiety is it's a very fine line between anxiety and excitement. They are kind of the same physical sensations. Recognizing that something is happening, and the short version is I was working as a professional opera singer and went through a very horrible workplace bullying experience on a show and ended up with PTSD, anxiety, panic attacks, and unable to sing. I lost my voice. And anytime I went to sing, I would have panic attacks.
Yeah.
Until I finally recognized that that's what it was and sought help. And I went and saw a psychologist who said, how can I help you? What's the best way to help you? And I said, well, as a Feldenkrais practitioner, I function in patterns. They make sense to me. So if you can show me the pattern of the triggers, then I will be able to recognize them when they happen again, because everything is a part of life. And, part of it was finance, part of it was feeling insecure, part of it was, physical, part of it was other stuff. But when any of those things might happen in context with each other, it then gets worse. But even on their own, of going, hang on a minute, I can do something about that trigger because I've recognized it's happening. But so even so, it was the folk community that went, well, if the classical one's too difficult, we'll have you. And so I would not be singing at all if it wasn't for the folkies. But when I was recovering from PTSD, the strongest and most profound thing was to discover the power of choice. And last year, I very deliberately did my first collaborative show. It was a G&S at the Buxton Opera House. It was an amateur production, but was with a director I knew from back in Melbourne. And I very deliberately chose to use it as a de-triggering exercise.
Yeah.
And it was the first collaborative classical production I've done in over a decade. I've done solo productions, but then I'm in control of that.
Yes.
So where someone else giving over that power and control to someone else who tells you what to do, and that you have to do it the same every time, and all of that. So that was very definitely a useful way of doing it. I did it myself, but you could work with someone on that. Yeah, and all of the triggers came up once again, and it was really useful to be able to actually just lean into them as you would if you were going with a muscular pattern and shifting it. So just sort of leaning into it and learning more about it, and then going, actually, it's safe to go the other way. So, yeah.
Quite empowering. I mean, I'm sort of here.
Moshe Feldenkrais used to say, if your only choice is to do or not do, there is no choice. Once there is a third option, then you have choice.
So when you come back, is that back into more touring, or what happens for you after March?
It's a combination. So yes, I would very much like to be touring my new album, which I've just released this week. I still need to do the admin to get the tour dates sorted in the UK. But I do fly in early morning on the 21st of March, and then on the Saturday and Sunday, the 22nd and 23rd, there's a very large vocal harmony workshop weekend, folky singing weekend in Sheffield that I'm teaching 2 workshops at.
Brilliant.
So straight back into it. And then the Sheffield Folk Sessions Festival I've been doing voice and Feldenkrais sessions at for the last few years. That's every Easter.
Beg some questions. Actually, you want to get an album from you. What's it called?
It's called Marilla and Friends. It's currently downloadable to buy only on Bandcamp, which is marillahomes.bandcamp.com. And it's homes without an L, as in houses.
Have you already started on new songs beyond the album?
Well, there's still songs I've not yet recorded. My songwriting process is very sporadic. Yeah, there's some ideas. They will happen because I do a lot of my songwriting while I'm driving.
So you've got
Keeps on
13
the
hours to
radio.
go for.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you.